All right, welcome back to the deep dive. We have a really fascinating stack of research to get through today.
Yeah, this one is something else.
And I want to start with a scenario that I think literally every single person listening has dealt with at some point.
Oh, I think I know where you're going with this.
You're in a rush, your hands are full of groceries or whatever, and you have to like bark a command at your phone. Hey, set a timer. Hey, what's the weather?
Right. It's the standard interaction we've all just gotten used to. It works, but it's rigid.
It's so rigid. It's purely transactional. You command, it obeys, hopefully.
Hopefully.
But half the time it misunderstands you, or the timer goes off on the wrong device in the other room. It just feels dumb.
Well, that's because, in a way, it is dumb. Or at least it's passive. It's that classic reactive model we've been stuck with.
Reactive, yeah. The technology is just dormant. It's sitting there, asleep, waiting for you to poke it.
Exactly. Waiting for a voice command to get any value out of it.
Right. But today, we are flipping that script entirely. The sources we have are pointing toward this massive shift happening right now, looking ahead to 2026.
Okay.
I want you to imagine a world where your assistant messages you first.
That is the dream, isn't it? An assistant that actually assists.
Imagine you're running late. You haven't even looked at your phone, and you get a ping saying, "Hey, I noticed you have that big meeting in 10 minutes, but you're still at the coffee shop. Want me to call an Uber?"
That sounds like science fiction. Or maybe like you have a very, very attentive human assistant.
But that's the reality of the project we're digging into today. It's called Clawdbot.
Clawdbot.
And we're going to unpack not just this specific piece of software, but the whole bigger picture here. This shift from reactive AI to proactive AI.
From a tool to really a digital sidekick that takes initiative.
Exactly. And I think Clawdbot is such a perfect case study for this because it's not some, polished product from a giant corporation.
No, it started as an open source project on GitHub back in 2024.
Okay, we have to talk about the name first because when I first saw Clawdbot, I thought it was a typo for cloud.
A lot of people do. But no, it's intentional. The creators lean into this lobster metaphor.
A lobster. Okay, explain this to me because I don't usually associate crustaceans with productivity.
It's a unique choice, for sure. But the idea is a lobster uses its claw to grab things, to hold on tight.
Oh.
So the bot is tenacious, adaptable.
Yeah.
It's always ready to grab tasks for you so things don't slip through the cracks.
I like that. And this thing is blown up in the developer world, right?
Oh, yeah. Over 9,000 stars on GitHub, which, for anyone not in the weeds, is a huge stamp of approval from the engineering community.
It tells you this isn't just a hobby project anymore.
No, it's a movement.
And that really sets the stage for our mission today. We aren't just reviewing an app. We're asking it a pretty fundamental question. Is having a bot that thinks for you the ultimate productivity hack? Or is it just creepy?
That is the core tension, isn't it? Helpful versus invasive.
So let's get into that. The shift to proactivity. You said Siri and Alexa are reactive. They wait for a prompt. How is Clawdbot fundamentally different?
The key difference is environmental monitoring. A reactive AI is a passive listener. It only really processes anything when it hears a wake word.
Okay.
A proactive AI like Clawdbot is an active observer. It is constantly monitoring your digital environment.
When you say digital environment, what does that actually mean? That sounds huge.
It means it's plugged into your calendar, it's watching your location data, scanning incoming emails, maybe even looking at your browser tabs.
It's looking for triggers.
Exactly. Looking for patterns that suggest you need help before you even realize it yourself.
The source material had this really great analogy that I think nails it.
The guard dog, right?
With the guard dog, yeah.
Yeah.
So your standard smart speaker is like a dog that watches a burglar break in, steal your TV, and walk out.
And does nothing.
And does nothing.
Nah.
Then, only when you walk in and say, "Hey, was there a burglar?" And does it bark and say yes?
Which is, it's completely useless in the moment. It has the data, but no agency.
Whereas Clawdbot is the guard dog that barks before the thief even gets to the window. It anticipates the threat, or in this case, the need.
That's a perfect way to put it.
Let's use some real-world examples from the sources, because this is where it gets really compelling. We mentioned the Uber one, but there was another one about travel that really stood out.
The flight delay scenario, a classic pain point.
Oh, the worst.
Usually you're the one scrambling, you get that notification, flight delayed 2 hours.
And your heart rate just spikes. Panic mode.
Immediately, you realize you're going to miss dinner, so you're toggling between the airline app, the restaurant app, your messaging app.
While dragging a suitcase through a terminal with spotty Wi-Fi, it's a nightmare.
Exactly. But Clawdbot handles this differently. It sees the delay, it cross-references your calendar, sees the dinner reservation, and realizes they can't make
It
this.
connects the dots.
It connects the dots. Then it just pings you right where you are on WhatsApp or Telegram and says, hey, flight's delayed. Should I reschedule dinner for 9:00 p.m. instead?
See, that's the Sidekick vibe. It feels less like software and more like a text from a friend who's got your back.
And that's a key detail. It lives where you already chat. It's not another app you have to open.
Which lowers the barrier. Psychologically, it feels more natural.
It does, but I think we have to look under the hood for a second because a lot of people listening are probably thinking, wait, is this just sending all my private data to some big corporate cloud?
That is the first question I had. If it's reading my text and checking my location, privacy is everything.
And that's one of Clawdbot's biggest selling points. It's designed to run locally.
Okay, so what does run locally mean in this context?
It means the AI's brain, the large language model, isn't on a server farm owned by some giant tech company. You can run this whole thing on your own Mac, your PC, or even a tiny Raspberry Pi sitting on your desk.
So all the processing, all that data, it stays in my house.
It never leaves your local network. You aren't piping your entire life into a corporate server.
That's a game changer for privacy. But let's play devil's advocate. We're talking about setting up Raspberry Pis. Is this actually making us more efficient, or is it just a new way for techies to procrastinate?
That's a fair question, the configuration trap.
Yeah.
But the academic backing here is surprisingly strong. This isn't just a toy. There's a paper cited in our stack partnering with AI that looks at exactly this.
Okay, and what did it find?
The research suggests this type of proactive tech can boost productivity by something like 25 to 30%.
30%? Wait, that's huge. That's basically leaving work at 3 p.m. instead of 5.
How? It's not just speed, it's about reducing friction and what they call context switching.
Right, that feeling of having too many tabs open in your brain.
Exactly. Every time you stop what you're doing to check a flight status or send a confirmation text, you lose focus. Clawdbot offloads that mental friction.
So it's the difference between doing the work and managing the work.
Yeah. Precisely. The bot manages the logistics so you can do the actual thinking.
There was another study, too, from the ACM that looked specifically at programming. That one seemed even more concrete.
Yes, the 2025 study. It was fascinating because it quantified error reduction. They found that these proactive bots could cut coding errors by 40%.
40%? That seems incredibly high.
It is, and the reason is anticipation. If the bot sees you typing a line of code that it knows often leads to a bug, and it flags it before you even run it,
You save hours of debugging later on.
you save all that pain. It's the guard dog again, but for your code. Hey, don't go down that alley. There's a bug there.
And it reminds me of that Carnegie Mellon research that was in there about transforming everyday objects.
Right, where the environment itself should anticipate our needs.
It's the same philosophy. Whether it's a smart coffee maker that starts brewing before your alarm, or a code editor that spots a flaw, the goal is for the tool to understand the context.
And that scope is getting bigger. The Science Direct analysis identified, 25 different task categories where this stuff excels?
That's way beyond just setting timers.
Far beyond. We're talking complex data analysis, drafting emails, scheduling. It's becoming a general-purpose operational engine for your life.
Okay, so the science says it works, saves time, reduces errors. But let's talk about the vibe, because one thing I loved about Clawdbot is that it's not just a robotic servant. It has a personality.
This gets into the whole butler versus buddy debate in AI design.
Explain that.
Well, traditional AI, like Siri, aims for the butler archetype. Polite, invisible, a bit boring. Clawdbot lets you tune it to be more of a buddy.
The humor aspect is what really got me. The example about hydration.
Oh, yeah.
We all know we should drink more water. And usually an app just sends a generic notification, right? Time to drink water.
Which is the easiest thing in the world to ignore. It's just background noise.
With Clawdbot, it doesn't just notify you. It spams you with memes. It literally sends you funny memes about being dehydrated until you confirm you actually drank something.
And that's hilarious, but it works because it breaks through notification fatigue. A joke triggers a tiny dopamine hit. It creates an emotional engagement.
So you actually want to check the notification.
Exactly. And there's research on this that ArcSIF paper, Proper Sim, it's all about simulating these interactions to master that kind of personalization. It learns what actually works on you.
There was another great example of that personality, the party scenario.
Oh, this one is a classic. A perfect example of social friction.
So you're at a party, It's Friday night, you're having a good time, and your boss texts you.
Total buzzkill. Your shoulders tense up immediately.
And usually you have to step outside, stress about it, draft a professional reply, proofread it. It just kills the whole mood.
Right, you're mentally back at work.
But Clawdbot senses the context, maybe your location, maybe ambient noise, and it just whispers a notification. Your boss wrote, "Want me to reply with a funny excuse?"
Now, obviously that requires a huge amount of trust.
A huge amount.
You have to trust its definition of funny in a professional context. You don't want it sending a meme to your CEO.
Sorry, boss, can't work. I'm literally a lobster right now.
Exactly. That could go so wrong so fast. But the capability is what's interesting. It understands the context.
It's acting like a socially aware friend going, "Hey, I got this for you."
It is. But, and this is the pivot, that level of awareness comes with a massive cost. We can't just talk about the funny memes.
I knew we were headed here. The sci-fi dream always has a dystopian nightmare lurking nearby.
You have to address it. For an assistant to know you're at a party or stressed or that your flight is delayed, it has to be watching everything, always.
The privacy paradox.
That's it. That Google DeepMind paper on the ethics of AI assistants hits this nail on the head. If we want anticipation, we have to grant surveillance. You can't have a blindfolded guard dog.
It's the digital stalker risk.
Yeah.
The source material had a scenario that actually made me shudder. The X scenario.
Yes. This is where an AI that only understands data, not social nuance, gets really dangerous.
So the bot, trying to be helpful, pings you.
And says, hey, your ex-partner just came online on Instagram, want to see their story.
No, absolutely not. Read the room, robot.
But that's the problem. Unless you explicitly set that boundary, the AI just sees data, person you interacted with frequently. It assumes relevance.
And it can cause real psychological distress. There was that paper, Proactive AI Adoption Can Be Threatening.
That study is so important. It found that when software starts acting on its own, we often feel a loss of agency. We like to be in control.
It's threatening. It feels like you're being managed or worse, replaced. And sometimes the bot is just wrong. We have to talk about the epic fail risk.
The cautionary tales.
Yeah. The source mentioned the risk of the bot being too helpful. Like you're joking with your spouse, I'm freezing, I'd go anywhere to get away from it all. And then suddenly
you get a notification, great news, I've booked you a non-refundable one-way ticket to Antarctica.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it heard freezing and go anywhere. Just got confused.
And this is the danger of autonomy. If we give these agents the power to spend our money or send messages without a human in the loop to approve them,
The potential for chaos is very high.
So it seems like, for now, the user still has to be the manager. You can't just set it and forget it.
No, you have to verify before you trust. Which brings up that technical barrier. The sources were honest about this. Installing Clawdbot isn't like downloading something from the App Store.
Not at all. It involves Python, selecting and downloading your own LLMs. It requires a certain level of tech savvy.
Though it is getting easier, right? People are building installers.
The barriers will come down. It's inevitable. Just like building a website used to require coding everything by hand.
So let's wrap this up. We've seen the tech, the science, the memes, the privacy nightmares. What's the verdict here?
The verdict is that Clawdbot represents the 2026 standard. We are undeniably moving from AI as a tool to AI as a companion. The efficiency gains are just too big to ignore.
And crucially, running it locally gives you a path to get those benefits without sacrificing all your privacy. But it requires setting boundaries. You can't let the lobster run wild.
You have to train the lobster. You have to tell it, don't track my ex, and don't spend more than $50 without asking.
Which brings us back to that callback in the sources I loved. They encouraged you to become a lobster master.
I like that. Be the master of your productivity. Don't let the tool master you.
It's about taking the initiative to make the tool serve your life, not the other way around.
Exactly. It's all about agency.
Okay, so before we sign off, we always like to leave you with a final thought, something to chew on.
We've talked about the assistant anticipating your needs. You need a coffee. You need an Uber.
Right. It's optimizing your life.
But here's the question. If your AI assistant knows what you need before you do, at what point does it stop serving you and start managing you?
Well, that's a spooky thought.
Think about it. If it decides which emails you see or when you should eat or who you should talk to, are you living your life or are you just following a script written by an algorithm?
And even if that script makes you 30% more productive,
Yeah,
are you okay with handing over the pen?
that's the question.
That is definitely going to keep me up tonight. Well, thank you all for listening to this deep dive. Go forth, Be proactive, become a lobster master, and we'll catch you on the next one.